Hey guys, how are you? It's Max Powers. Who else would it be on this channel? I'm in the woods. I'm camping. You can probably hear campers behind me. I'm in the Pisgah National Forest, sitting at camp, and I heard a tree fall over. I stress the word fall over, not push over. It's broad daylight. My camp is right there. The tree fall was somewhere over there. And I looked to see just what it was. Couldn't see it from here, but I did see this tree here. That'll probably be the next to fall over. I don't know if you can see it right about there. It's a rotten pine tree. It's gonna fall. I was out with Ron for weeks and weeks and weeks camping in the swamp, going to places with all kinds of Bigfoot evidence, not just circumstantial evidence, but actual things like footprints and the like. Ron's big thing about these types of things is there's two constants in the woods: decay and gravity. And if you look at this tree right here, we've got decay. And soon gravity's going to take effect and that's going to fall over. It's not a matter of Bigfoot pushing it. It's not a matter of anything like that. It's a matter of gravity and decay. So I was recently watching, I think last night, I was watching, I won't say the channel's name, someone who I respect in the field, someone who we've argued back and forth early on. Now we find we're arguing just about semantics. And they were talking about this tree pushover. There was actually two researchers, two channels, one was on the other. And they kept talking about this tree pushover that they heard. Well, if that tree had happened, fallen at night, the one I heard down that way, would it be Bigfoot pushing it over? I don't think so. I think trees just fall in the woods. I think a good example of the what's and the whys of that is just the saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? So that's acknowledgement that trees have been falling in the forest for a very long time, with or without Bigfoot. It's important to know. I'm not pointing all this out to condemn other people's evidence, to correct people. I'm putting it out to try and make an awareness that if we sit in the woods long enough, we will hear these things. If we go and investigate, we'll find what is really causing them. Not saying Bigfoot is not in the woods. I'm saying Bigfoot's in the woods. He may not be doing these things. And if we can stop chasing rabbits, right? Which I think is kind of ironic with the whole rabbit hole thing Bigfooters talk about. But if we stop chasing rabbits, we'll be able to focus on the evidence that will lead us to finding these things. So, footprints, hair samples. Spent a few days with Mike from Tactical Bigfoot Research, who's doing a project on it, and it was really interesting to talk to someone who's looking at it from a scientific standpoint. But there's actual evidence out here that we can trace and that we can use to prove the existence of these things without wasting our time chasing rabbits. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna take some shots of that, some video of that tree, so you can see just how rotten that tree is, and how it's probably gonna fall any day now. And if it doesn't, in my opinion, that's the odd thing. If that tree doesn't fall in the next few days, it's amazing. But I'm going to take you down there. I'm going to take some video of it, show you that. I lose subscribers every time I come on here and say this is or usually this isn't Bigfoot. So I'm probably going to lose a few more, and that's all right. If you want, magic Bigfoot, I'm not the channel for you. But if you want to investigate these things that we're saying are Bigfoot, I'm probably the right channel for you. I don't want to belittle anyone else's evidence. It's very important that we are out in the woods, and if you're out in the woods looking, I don't care about your conclusions. I care about your findings. I don't care about the rabbit hole you want to go down. I want to see what it is you're finding. So show me pictures of that. Tell me about that. Let me make an informed decision as to what's out there. Never really been good at being led by the nose. I'm not saying that everyone I know out there does that. I'm just saying that I really want to dig into the meat and potatoes of this thing. So let's go look at that tree. All right, so here we are looking at the base. You can see two things. You can see insect damage as we go up the base a little. You can see insect damage, and you can see bird damage from things trying to get the insects. And as we go up the tree, you'll see that not only is it rotten, but it's leaning, right? At some point, I believe right about there, that bend is a split in the tree. And when it falls, it's going to fall to the right, in my opinion. So, the only thing holding that tree up, I have no idea what's holding that tree up. I'm amazed it hasn't fallen already. But when it falls, it's going to fall naturally, and it's probably not going to be Bigfoot. I would go over and push it, but I'm in a national forest. I'll let things pretty much fall where they will. So there's that. Let's take another look coming down at all the rotten decay on that tree. So this is what I'm saying. You don't have to believe me. Are there times when Bigfoot pushes trees over? Maybe, but I want you to show me. I don't know if I already said this, but as Ron and I were leaving camp, after 10 days there, all that cracking that I heard and did a video about not too long ago came to fruition. And as Ron is getting in the truck, ready to pull out of camp, a tree in the forest splintered and fell. And it was a big one too. It was probably one of those old oaks. And it fell hard. If it had happened at night and we weren't watching the whole thing kind of take place over a few days, it was our first night there, it may have been unnerving. But ultimately, it was just a tree like this with those two constants in the forest that Ron says: rot or decay and gravity. So here's another 2 cents. Not that it's even worse that, but don't hate me. Unsubscribe if you do, or write me nasty letters. I like those too. I'll talk to you all later. Hey guys, just one last thought. I'm back at camp. I've been in the woods for just over a month now, and I've heard 4 different trees fall in the woods. Maybe one was a big branch, but ultimately trees fall in the woods. I think statistically, if you sit in the woods, you're going to hear that happen. I don't think they time it, whether they fall during the day or whether they fall at night, and I don't think it makes a difference whether they fall during the day or at night. I think either way, it's a tree falling in the woods. Until we have video of what we, for some reason, are calling a pushover, I just don't think this is anything. I think we're wasting our time, and I think that going for factual evidence rather than these rabbit holes that everyone's going down, and you're welcome to go down them. Go right ahead. As long as you're out in the woods looking, I'm going to ask you the what did you see? I might even ask you why you think what you do. If I ask you why you think what you do, I'm probably going to turn around and, excuse me, and ask for some kind of evidence as well. I think the more we do this with our own evidence, and I look back at some of my videos, and I'm going to let that car pull out. I think, you know, if I look back at my own videos, I see a lot of these things where I was excited to find evidence and perhaps reported what may or may not be actual Bigfoot evidence. You know, it's a learning curve. So if you're out there in the woods and you're finding things, that's a start. How you interpret it, that has more to do with you and your background and experiences in the woods than it does with me. So I'm not trying to correct anyone. And I get a lot of comments or unsubs and nasty emails about what I'm doing in the woods. I'm just looking for these things, and I'm just trying to figure out what it is. And I'm trying not to chase bad evidence. So on that note, I hope you're all well. Whatever it is you're finding, I'm glad you're out looking for it. And thanks for watching.